Hello, my name is Dr. Liam Schubel, and welcome to another edition of Schubel Vision Elite Interviews, where today we'll be interviewing Dr. Thom Gelardi, the founder of Sherman College of Chiropractic, and I'm joined here with my friend Dr. Frankie Hahn and Dr. Judd Nogrady of the Schubel Vision Elite team. Enjoy the interview. So, Thom, how do you see chiropractic today?
I see it in a very, very, very positive way. Absolutely. I think this chiropractic, I think, had the ideal, more of the ideal. There was always mixing. DD complained a lot about the mixing that went on. And but the ideal was there. And in the 30s, fighting for licensing, that was it united the profession. But then it started on the decline. And now I see us at a low point, but it's a low point on the incline. That chiropractic is getting stronger all the time. And I think that the mixers, like the medics, thought that higher education would put us out of business. And it's not. It's going to be a help to us if they are ever exposed to logical, reasonable chiropractic. There were some errors in the past thinking that we were in competition with with the medical doctors. I was going to say, but no one ever accused us of competing with a dentist or the optometrist. It was always a medical doctor because we really were, at least mentally. And maybe it was necessary at that time. There was a great many counter medical revolutions going on. They all lost from homeopathy and osteopathy. They all gone. And it was that way where chiropractic postured itself. Not that it wasn't a political posturing, it was where they were philosophically. But today, we're not in competition with a medical doctor because what they do is sometimes good and sometimes bad, and like lawyers and everybody else. I mean, that's just the way it is. But to say that you could do all you can to be healthy, and then if you're not healthy and you need support, like I need a cane sometimes, then use a cane. But if you can do without a cane, it's a whole lot better. So I think we're in a darn good place. It's a good profession and so on. I think chiropractors need help in their presentation as to how do you present it. Because Jim Parker was talking about, even in his better days, to get them into your office on their symptoms and then convert them later. That's ridiculous. Just do what you're going to do. And people are attracted to strength. They're not attracted to weakness. And people say, I just don't understand that. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Right. So your take on chiropractors is that they could do well with better communication skills, more certainty, and more ability or competence in their technical adjusting skills, their ability to detect, analyze, and adjust vertebral subluxation. If they could get those three components down, really they could take over the world almost in that sense. Yeah.
And the majority of people are always fearing this and fearing that. And I think maybe everybody has some fears, but you just have to keep working on them and fake it till you make it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
experience definitely gives you more and more certainty and power in what you're doing. So would you say then, because you hear it a lot in the chiropractic profession still, this antagonism towards medicine, and in reality, would you say that might have been something that was maybe an idea that was necessary when during the Wilkes case or something, when there was a known effort by medicine to contain and eliminate chiropractic. But as we stand now, really, it seems like we're our worst enemies. It's not really the medical profession that's after us anymore.
The medical profession, I don't think, hurts us at all. I mean, I don't think they do, not a bit. Maybe legislatively behind the scenes and cutting us out of insurance and so on. But insurance companies, when they see their own self-interest in insuring chiropractic patients, they'll be there in a hurry. I mean, but it's self-interest. I mean, look at the vets. They didn't insure dog health, but they do now.
Right.
Because vets are so expensive or whatever. But we don't want to, that may not be practical for chiropractic. No, I just think we have to learn how to explain chiropractic to a symptomatic person without talking symptoms. Just that get your body in a condition to deal with it as much as possible. You know what I mean? If you need other things, but get off. Don't ever badmouth medicine or anything else. I just wouldn't do that. I gave that up. I don't think if I ever badmouthed medicine.
Oh, I was working as a nurse.
Yeah, our nurse is okay. I mean, I don't approve of that, but
but there's still, by the way, there still is that idea that that this brand of chiropractic, let's say the brand, the chiropractic, that in order to participate in that, the idea of innate intelligence, the subluxation, the adjustment, that somehow, some way indicates that a person that subscribes to that understanding is in some way or some shape, some form against medicine or against science or against research or evidence. I mean, and that's kind of the way, the narrative that's been painted towards the chiropractic model as we know it.
And I think sometimes too, when someone's being defensive, and a person that comes into your office has made a decision to be there.
Yeah.
And the guy is king or the gal is king, and then they start getting defensive right off the bat. Yeah. I said, "You're killing. They accept you. You already accepted. They wouldn't be there." And this assumptive attitude, I assume people come to be treated the way I treat them.
Yeah.
I don't like the word treating, but I mean, the way I care
taken
for
care
them.
Of. Yeah.
I assume that if they're in my office, they want one of the things too. Well, you do practice building, but the common thing is that people go where people go because people go where people go.
Right.
For no other reason.
Yeah.
And so get people coming to your office. And when I started in the middle, like say in the recession, but within a year we had our own car and we had started moving up the ladder. In 2 years we said we could start raising a family. But it wasn't booming by any means, and but we were growing all the time. Well, let's see.
In the third year, we built a clinic.
Yeah, third year we built a 2,000 square foot clinic with off-street parking and a fountain outside and all that kind of stuff. But when I started, I was in the JCs with a fellow who was captain of the Salvation Army. And the Salvation Army was just down the street from my junkie office. And I said, you take care of a lot of people. I mean, you have a lot of people who could be benefited by chiropractic. And I don't care if they don't pay anything.
Right.
I'm thinking to myself in my mind, I need walking advertisements out there.
You got it.
And I filled my office pretty fast. I wasn't making much money, but at least I could raise my fees up or do whatever I was going to do. But I wanted to keep a crowd coming into my office.
Yeah, getting known for the results that you provide with by detection, analysis, and correction of subluxation.
And the other thing too is, I just wonder. I've had a number of students at school who worked with chiropractors as their CAs, who they said they had never seen a crisis case in their office. It was all low back pain, and low back pain made up a minutia of my practice. I had people with death sentences.
Right.
Those were the people we took care of.
Right.
And not all, we had back people too, but to begin with, we took care of, I didn't refer out hardly anything. I don't know. I mean, I was told them, look, this is what I do. You know, when you're free, anything else, but this ought to be included. I like that with the old Palmer sticker on the envelope. It's not true to say you're doing everything possible unless being free of subluxation is involved.
Very good.
You know, that you include. He used the word include, and he did. What did he say? Unless chiropractic is included. It's not true to say you're doing everything possible unless chiropractic is included. I hate to use the word chiropractic. There's so many different kinds of chiropractic.
Yeah.
But I am really such a believer, and I may be wrong, but I believe that I'm not. I'm such a believer.
Yeah. Yeah.
That you've got to correct the subluxation. And just a lot of bone popping is not going to do it. And if you're convinced you really corrected the subluxation, that's great. But I don't see adjusting on every visit because, first of all, if I'm going to be subluxated on Monday and I'm coming on Tuesday and you're going to adjust me again on Wednesday, and if I go 3 months or 2 hours, you're going to adjust me every time, I can't live that way. That doesn't make any sense. So people have got to be, you know, I go to my daughter in Colombia. It's 100-mile, what is it, 110, 15 miles? And we were going once a week. I go now, try once every 2 weeks if she doesn't come up, and so on. And I haven't been adjusted in several months now. And I don't mind driving 100 miles to get it, you know.
Yeah.
To me, it's worth it. And I never tell her. She knows not to ask me how I feel because I'm not going to tell her. No, she doesn't ask me how I feel. And we just get checked, and she tells me if I'm doing good. Sometimes I go down there and said, Betty, I said, oh, I wish I needed an adjustment today.
Yeah.
But I don't tell her that.
Well, you know, it is ironic is that, you know, you drive 100 and something miles to get checked. I drive up to Boston, so it's 260 miles from here. And I'll do that in a day. I'll drive up and then 4 or 5 hours, and I'll drive back 4 and 5 hours. And I'm passing literally tens of thousands of chiropractic offices.
Some that could do the job.
Some that could, right?
But you don't know that.
But I don't know that. And the challenge that we have in our profession in many cases is that we have doctors of chiropractic who are experts at nutrition. They're experts at what lasers to use. You know, they're an expert on all different kind of therapies. But can they clear the atlas and can they keep that thing clear? That's where many chiropractors are failing. And so that's, I think, in part too, why the certainty is not there is because they've never really learned how to detect, analyze, and adjust the subluxation and then keep it clear. And I think that's probably, for me, and I think one of the reasons why I'm so involved with Sherman College is that I never want to lose that. And so, you know, we always have that as our central focus. And that's why I think the world owes you, you know, a debt of gratitude. I know you didn't do it for that, but we owe you a debt of gratitude for ensuring that the ability for somebody to get that type of care is going to be ensured for future generations.
That's what I did it for. That's exactly what I did it for. Because I just believe that people will figure out the philosophy. I mean, you put them a little bit on the path, you know, that, hey, your body is intelligently created and just rely on it as much as you can.
Mm-hmm.
I know they used to teach a story at a chiropractor in New York who had some kind of, maybe he's diabetic, and he refused to take his insulin and died, and that's how much he believed in chiropractic. They put him up as a hero. I think he was stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right.
You don't die. You do it. Innate wants to live, and you do what you can to do the best decision you could make out of it.
And I think a lot of people would be surprised to hear you say that. You know, again, there has been this narrative painted that, you know, the Sherman brand is in somehow, some way, some shape against the medical model, and certainly that's never been my experience with you, with Reggie Gold. You know, the doctors of chiropractic that formed the Sherman model that I've seen they're about one thing. They're about one thing and one thing only. That is, can we detect, can we analyze, can we adjust vertebral subluxation, and can we keep people clear? And you talked about, having a vision for the future of chiropractic, and then combine that with that saying of we've done everything we can for the patient. When I hear that, I think about, imagine if in every hospital it was just obvious that you had the chiropractor detecting, analyzing, and adjusting vertebral subluxation. Because if somebody's in the fight of their life, or trying to recuperate from an operation, wouldn't that be a great place to make sure your nerve system, the master control system, was clear? I mean, if that someday just became obvious to everybody.
Absolutely. And just the principles of one philosopher, and he wrote a book on health care. I can't think of his name, I'll give you the name of the book. But he did say in the book that health is that which allows a person to live most autonomously. That means adjustment free. You don't need adjustments. You don't need drugs. You're autonomous. None of us are autonomous. We all need a lot. But that which allows you to be most autonomous. And I think chiropractic helps people become doctor autonomous. That doesn't mean you're totally free of it, but you reduce the need for doctoring. I would say to patients too, if you can reduce the need for drugs in your body, I would support that.
Right. Right, but we're not anti-drugs, right?
No,
I mean, there's a time and a place where that's
need it,
totally. All right, good. That's an important message to get out, because again, there has been this narrative that this brand of chiropractic is anti medicine, anti science, and really, and I think it's very important that you mentioned at certain points that even with the above down thing, there's an idea that in some way, some form, chiropractic is a religion, or there's a spiritual component of it, and that's not what chiropractic is about. It's always about detection, analysis, and correction of vertebral subluxation. Nothing more, nothing less, nothing else.
I do like, for me, but it's not a necessity, but for me, I like the vitalistic idea that there's an organizing wisdom within the body. Mm-hmm. But there's different variances on that from Fritjof Capra in the Tao of Physics, and he says he's a systems person, so he's a materialist, but it's very close to vitalism and so on. But I don't know if there's any wisdom within the body, but it seemed like a good metaphor for what's taking place in the body.
Right. It's doing something intelligent. Yeah. Well, we hope you enjoyed that interview with the founder of Sherman College, Dr. Thom Gelardi. This is Dr. Liam Schubel signing off with my good friends Dr. Frankie Hahn and Dr. Judd Nogrady. And we'll see you next time on the Schubel Vision Elite exclusive interview.